guys, today we are talking about wood heat, wood stoves, how we heat our home in the wintertime, which is pretty much all by heat. I have a little helper here with me today. You'll have to excuse her. She's our new little Homestead dog, Delilah, and she is a very good girl. She loves to be with her mommy. But today I want to go over with you how we heat our house with wood, how we prepare for wintertime with wood, and then I also want to take you through the process of curing your wood stove. I'm not going to actually show you that process, but I'm going to kind of talk to you about it a little bit. And then what to look for with your wood, making sure it's dry, how hot to burn your wood stove so that you don't need to clean it out every year, and then just some safety stuff. Now I will tell you, I'm not an expert at this, okay? I'm not an expert at wood stoves at all. I will never claim to be an expert until I have like full, vast knowledge about it. I'm not going to give you one wood stove is better than the other because I don't really believe that one is always better than the other. I'll give you some options. I'll tell you what we use and what we've used in the past. I've got another black dog out. And then I'm just going to show you what we do here. That's all I can do is show you what we do. So let's get started. So this is just one of many of our wood piles. In the summertime and springtime, we have a lot of storms and stuff that roll through Virginia, as you do with anywhere you live. And because of my husband's work, we are allowed to pick up a lot of this wood off of job sites. But normally it comes in large round pieces, so it's not cut up like this. Now this year, Junior he turned 7 this summer, so Junior has been a huge help with us stacking wood and cutting wood this year. The bulk of this wood we have cut by hand, okay? So it's a very hard job. Now, a couple months ago, we were gifted a homemade wood splitter. Nothing fancy about it. It's very slow. It was free though. It was free to the person who had it. They just didn't want to deal with it anymore, and so they gave it to us. We were able to fix it, and so my husband was able to get some big, large pieces of wood off a job site, and that wood splitter did help us kind of get that through for the other cords that we have. But we are set for this first half of the winter that we're getting ready to go through, and we might need to go ahead and cut some more. But in these clips I'm showing you, each stack that you see is actually double stacked, so there's another row behind that of wood as tall and as long. So we're pretty ready for wintertime. Now we have a couple of cords left over from last year. Late in the season last year we had green wood, and so we stacked that up instead of burning it, and we'll use that up first this year. This wood here is wood that we got. I believe this was early this year's wood, so it is seasoned and it is ready to be used, which we'll use it as well. The key to heating with wood is to have really dry wood. You can't just go out and chop a tree down and then put it in your wood stove. It just doesn't work that way. You're going to get a lot of creosote in your wood stove pipe, and that's going to build up, and that's how you get chimney fires and really dangerous situations. So make sure you cut them into these pieces. And then we also have kindling. We use a lot of cedar wood, you can see, for kindling. And you just have these long pieces, and that's how you're going to get your wood stove started. Some people choose to use newspaper or bills. Those are also great options, but we have cedar on hand or really dry stringy wood on hand from these job sites and places that we go to pick up wood, and so we just use that and chop it into little pieces. Now there's some wood that you can keep, like the little tiny round log pieces. You can keep them that way. We call those overnighters. If you have large wood pieces, you can stick them in at night to keep you warm throughout the night and not have to wake up every hour. But for the most part, we cut them into these chunks and dry them out, and then we use them and make sure they're dry. So I'm going to take you inside and show you our wood stove and kind of go through the process of that there. Before I get ready to take you down to the wood stove, a lot of people are asking, well, where do you get wood from? You know, I live in a suburban area, or I don't have access to job sites where we could get wood. You can buy wood. We have bought wood before. You can buy wood from woodchucks. Normally it depends on your area. Here in Virginia, it's about $1.50 a load. Okay. So not bad. You get a whole cord of wood for $1.50, and they come, they deliver it, and they dump it. It just depends on who you use, you know. And then you can also call woodchucks, or if you have a neighbor who has a tree that's cut down. And then there's also local properties that are public properties. If you call ahead of time, you actually go into the wooded areas and cut the wood down yourself. But please make sure that you kind of do your research and call these people before you just walk onto the property and cut trees down. Most of the trees that are going to be beneficial to you are going to be deeper into the woods. So you're going to really have to put the work effort into it. And then you're going to have to drag it, cut it into chunks, and then load it up. And the easiest thing is to dump it at your house and then start chopping it into pieces rather than loading it up into small pieces like this on your truck. Load it into smaller pieces like this here. On your truck, and then you can just split it by hand or by wood splitter when you get home and stack it into your cords. Now, I do want to show you, these are stacked. This is a little stack. This is one of our small stacks, and when I say that they're double stacked, I'm going to show you. Let's see if you can see in there. Okay, see, we've got one row here and a space, and then one row over here, and that's so that the airflow can go in and really dry out this wood. This wood was pretty much dry when we got it, but keeps it dry. Now we do have this over top of it, over top of each stack to kind of keep the rain off of it. I will tell you that if you've got green wood that you really want to season up, put one of these clear plastic tarps over it. And I've read where you can spray it with like vinegar and water, and it kind of helps season it up more. But just put one of these on it, and the sun kind of beats down and really beats down on that and gets the heat in there to really season this wood out. Now we keep our kindling here on top. We have satchels of it. So you'll see they're tied together, and we'll actually take a satchel in with us. We actually do give these satchels away to family and friends who have wood stoves in the wintertime. Just a fun little homestead gift. And then we have all of these other stacks of wood. I mean, it goes down our entire fence row. We just have all of this wood this year. So we've been really blessed with that and really getting prepared this year for winter. But if you are going to have a wood stove, guys, it's a lot of work. It's not an easy task, okay? It's one you need to make sure that you want to take on, because it is something you have to keep up with. We started chopping this and stacking it, gosh, it was probably in June. So Mark and Junior have stacked and chopped this all themselves and stacked it up and really worked hard on getting this stuff done so that we have all this wood ready. You're going to blow through more wood than you think you are, okay? So it's always best to have more than you think you're going to have, because you're going to blow through it. Or when you don't have electricity, if you're not already in an off-grid situation, then when the snow comes and you are in an off-grid situation, you're going to blow through it a lot more, because you're going to need it not only for cooking, or not only to keep you hot, keep you warm, but you're also going to need it for cooking. It's hot out here. I'm cooking. I'm not thinking about wood stove right now, but I wanted to make this video because I know you guys are thinking about it, and you only have about a month more to get wood if you're in Virginia. So, all right, I am going to seriously take you down to the wood stove now. Okay, so this is our wood stove. It has come in handy very well. See, I told you my dog follows me everywhere. Go. This is our wood stove. Now this wood stove we got last year. We have heated with wood for as long as we've been here. So over 8 years we have been here, and we have heated with wood for that long. Okay, so this wood stove is actually new. We got this wood stove last year. The wood stove we had before that we actually found on Craigslist. It was brand new. It was similar to this, but it was much smaller. It did have a little square window in the front. And it pulled well, but sometimes we found that smoke came in through the pipe. So it just didn't draw as well as we wanted it to. Hey, quiet. So last year we bought this wood stove. This was kind of a new experience for us, because we actually had to go through the entire process of buying a wood stove, curing a wood stove, because it is cast iron. If you cook with cast iron, you know you have to cure your cast iron pans. Same with wood stoves. Okay, so this wood stove actually, it had to be heated up multiple times to a certain degree we had to open the sliding glass door that's behind me because all of the smoke, it would smoke and the smoke would go out. So we had to heat it up to like 200 degrees and let it cool down. Then up to 300, let it cool, 400, let it cool. I think we went all the way up, let's see. We went all the way up to almost 500. I'm going to show you this. This is a little burn indicator. And this shows you the temperature of your wood stove, okay? It tells you when you're in the, I'm going to get closer so I can show you. So here are your too cool settings, okay? So when it's in this range, it's too cool. This means creosote can build up. This is your ideal burn zone, okay? Between 300 and 550, which is right here. You do not want to go past that because then you're in the very, very red zone. And that means that your cast iron stove is going to be on override, okay? It means that you can actually crack your stove, and that's very dangerous, okay? You don't want it to be that high, okay? So invest in one of these. I'm going to link it below. These are really, really good indicators, and these will help you when you're curing your wood stove if you have a new one. So we had to cure the wood stove, which was an experience for me, and that's something I didn't know about because it just wasn't of interest to me. But something you guys should know about if you're looking into getting a new cast iron wood stove. So the next part of this is after it was cured, we were able to use it. Now this wood stove comes with a handy dandy ash drawer. You can use it or not use it. You don't have to use it. You can put the brick in. Now this is still a little bit dirty. I'm not going to show you, but each wood stove has fire bricks in it to keep the heat in and to keep it safe. So this is a really great wood stove. Now this, we are able to cook on smaller pans, but I'm going to be honest, the only reason I ever cook on this is if there's snow on the ground. If there's not snow on the ground, then I'm cooking outside if I have to. In a situation where we have no power, I'm cooking outside because, you know, unless this is already really going to at a temperature that I want to cook on, then there's that. But this is a really great little stove. Now, the piping option. Now this pipe goes up and out and up a chimney. Not every house has a chimney, okay? There are pipe kits that you can get to install a wood stove. It can go straight up through the ceiling, out the top of your house. If it's in the top level of your house. If it's in the bottom level of your house, which ours is in the basement, it's going to go out the wall with an elbow curve and then up, okay? So pay attention to that if you're trying to install one. I'm not an expert at that. But my father has put in one. He didn't have a chimney on their old farmhouse that they had. So he was able to put a pipe, elbow it, and out a porch actually, and then up. So there are pipe kits that you can get. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on how to install them as well. But even if you don't have a chimney is what I'm saying, you can have a wood stove and there are kits to help you accomplish that. Next part, where do you get a wood stove from? Well, that's a good question. So this wood stove, this new wood stove behind me that we bought last year, we were actually able to get a 50% discount off of this brand new wood stove. How did we do that? Okay, now is the time to do it. If you're in my area or in a hotter area than me, and maybe even colder areas, I'm not sure. Now is the time to get a wood stove at a brand new one at a discount. What happens is, this wood stove was the previous year's model, okay? So we put it on, it was out on the floor. We loved the wood stove, but it was the previous year's floor model. They wanted to sell it. They always want to sell the previous year's models. So this wood stove, I believe it was originally over $800 and we got it for $400. That's an incredible, incredible deal for this wood stove. This is the best wood stove we've had. Now we were also looking at a bigger wood stove this year with a flat cooktop, but we just decided, you know what, we don't use it to cook on enough. That's just personal preference. And I can fit all of my pans that are necessary on this wood stove if we wanted to cook on that wood stove. I just prefer if there's not snow on the ground, and even if there is, as long as it's not a lot, if we have to cook on fire, then I prefer to cook outside in the wintertime because I'm just very hot-natured, and we have a very small house. We have a 980 square foot house, and so it heats up very quickly. Believe it or not, Mark and I used to live in a tiny house before the tiny house movement was so big. We lived in a 300 to 400 square foot house when we first got married, and so we didn't even have the ability to do a wood stove there. But so we live in a 980 square foot house, and this keeps us warm all winter long without much effort. Okay, the bulk of your effort is going to be getting wood chopped and stacked and put together. So the greatest way to find that is to go to Lowe's or Home Depot, Tractor Supply, your local farm store. Kind of find last year's models on sale right now and get that going. If you don't want to buy it brand new, you can certainly find wood stoves on Craigslist. But just be careful. Make sure you look them over really well and make sure there's no cracks. Even hairline cracks can be very, very dangerous, guys. Wood stoves can kind of go and just blow up if they're not taken care of and treated well. You don't want to just throw wood in there and let it go because it can crack if it gets too hot. So you want to be careful whenever you're buying something off of Craigslist or another online company like that. Your other option is to go to like an auction or a estate sale or find an old house that somebody has been kind of gutting out. A lot of those old houses have wood stoves that were in them already, so you can find them there as well. So we really enjoy our wood stove in the wintertime. We heat pretty much completely by heat when it's really cold. We do have a heating unit, so we do have a heat pump in our house because we do have to have air conditioning, okay? So we do have a heat pump. If it's just kind of cold, we don't waste our time in getting the wood stove set up. We'll just turn the heat unit on for a couple of hours and it takes the chill out of the air. But any other time when we're burning wood, we burn our wood hot, okay? A lot of people ask about cleaning out chimneys and stuff like that. In the 8 years we've been here, we've never had to clean out our chimney. This is strictly for wood stove burning. This is to keep our house warm. If this were a wood stove where, like a kitchen stove where we were cooking on it, which is going to be in our future, I know it, then yes, we would probably have to clean out the chimney often because we wouldn't be burning it hot all the time. But because this is just functional to heat our house, we burn it hot, you know, in that middle range that you saw all the time. If it gets too hot, we do let it burn down, obviously. It's not running hot all night, but we're not just, oh, we're gonna let it heat up a little bit, you know. No, we're not doing that. We're heating it up and we're keeping it in that range, and it keeps our house warm all day long. What happens is when you don't burn it hot enough, that's when you get the creosote in your chimney, and that's where chimney fires start. Because it's that buildup, it's not burning off enough. So when you're not burning the wood hot enough, it gets built up along your chimney sides, and that stuff can catch fire like that, okay? So you want to burn it off. You want it to be burning up at all times. So that's why you burn hot all the time. Not too hot because then you're on the wrong side and you could burst your wood stove open. Not too cold because that's when the creosote starts building up. Truly, seriously, really, we've never cleaned our chimney out in the whole 8 years we've been here. Now, we do look down our chimney every year, guys. We're not stupid. Okay, we do play it safe, and we look down our chimney to see if it needs cleaning out, see if birds have gotten in there and built a nest, or squirrels or something. Yes, we do that every year. Please do that. Please clean your chimney out if it needs to be cleaned out. But if you're burning it hot enough and it's not used for, you know, like a kitchen stove, then you should be able to burn it hot enough to where you don't have to worry about chimney fire. So make sure that you're considering that when you get a wood stove. Now you can see behind me, we do have this brick wall. Okay, that was put in here when we bought the house and we finished it off. It was just a half wall, and that just keeps the heat off of the wall that's behind it. That's optional, but do have something, I'll show you. Do have something that your wood stove can set on. Because I didn't want it sitting right here on the concrete, so we do have the bricks here. Okay, so there's my wood stove basics for you. Again, it's not rocket science, but I do want you to kind of research more and you know, get in depth of stuff. And there's lots of how-to videos on how to do this stuff. So just kind of look it up. If I'm correct, I think there are some even homesteaders on here who have how-to videos on how to install them, how to clean them, and stuff like that. I'm not going to link those because you can just Google it and you're going to find tons of them. But I just wanted to kind of go over the basics with you, where to get them, how to burn them, how to do your wood, all that stuff, so that you can kind of see what we're doing here and the hard work that goes into it, okay? Because it is hard work if you want to heat by wood. If you're starting now in September, which we've done. We all wood stove burners have done it. You started late and you're like the ant and the, what is it called, squirrel or something, where one prepared for winter and the other one didn't, and you're just running around like a chicken with your head cut off. Guess what? Those years we bought wood. We did. Shameless, we bought it. But anyhow, so that's it for me today, guys. There's your wood stove segment, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy homesteading.